Hi yogis and welcome. Today I am bringing you a mixed level flow class. If you have a couple of blocks, they're going to be useful towards the end of practice. We're also going to start on our backs with a block or prop underneath the shoulder blades. So if you don't have a block, you could use a bolster or something similar like that, like a couch cushion or something. So you'll have the block, I like the medium height, underneath the shoulder blades, and you can do whatever you like with the legs here. So whatever position feels most comfortable. If you have a second block, you could also place that underneath the head just so that the back bend is not so dramatic. And then give yourself permission to move around a little bit here to begin with. I think sometimes, we come to yoga and we think like everything has to be still and static, and it's definitely a time and place for that, but also just fluid movement, whatever comes naturally, can also feel really good. So once you've taken any wriggles or movements that you need, you'll then find your way into stillness. And dropping into your body and your breath. Smooth, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Take a scan of your body from head to toes. Notice if anything's feeling tight or maybe like you're holding onto tension. And see if you can soften into this space. And we'll take another 5 deep breaths here. Bend your knees if they're not already, placing the soles of the feet down onto the floor. And you'll lift your torso up, removing the block out from underneath you. Hey, Henry. Then come to lie down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. If you like, take a little sway from side to side. Maybe you want to circle out through the hips. And you'll take both legs up towards the ceiling. They don't have to be all the way straight here. And then straddle them. So again, it doesn't have to be a really big dramatic shape, but you're just opening the legs. And then we're going to scissor right leg in front of left. Reopen the legs, scissor left leg in front of right. Just do that a couple of times, as fast or as slow as you like. And the next time that your right leg comes in front, you're going to bend both knees. So your right knee is kind of stacking on top of the left. And from here, interlace your hands behind the backs of your thighs, hold onto your shins, or hold onto the outer edges of your feet. And then try to keep the hips down if you can. Think of lengthening the tailbone forwards. And this is Supine Gomukhasana. Hopefully feeling some stretch in your outer right hip. And if the stretch is really intense, maybe just backing out of it a little bit. It's early days in the practice. Go ahead and re-extend both legs up towards the ceiling. Again, you'll straddle them open, and then you're going to open and close the legs, scissoring them out. Maybe give your little dog a pat. The next time that your left leg is in front of your right, you'll bend the knees. Again, you can curl up, hold behind the thighs, find the shins or outer edges of the feet. Lengthening the tailbone forwards, doing your best to keep the hips down if you can. Just noticing if the stretch is stronger on one side than the other. And that's not coming from a place of judgment, but rather one of just being open to exploring your body. Why is it that the left side is tighter? Or why is it that the right side is tighter? What is it about your daily movement patterns that might make this the case? So an invitation to be inquisitive. Taking both legs all the way back up. And you can bicycle out the legs or just give them a shake. Hug the knees back into your chest again. And then draw the knees all the way together. Now I want you to stack your knees on top of your hips. So have a little look. And rather than having the knees pulling in like this, you really want them stacked directly on top of the hips. Lower back presses down, hands behind your head, and you'll curl the head, chest, and torso up. Now look towards your navel, draw it back and down. And we're going to keep the knees as they are, but you'll extend the right leg, hover it just off the floor, and twist to the left. So notice that I'm not pulling my knee in to make contact, but I'm curling up more. This is going to make it a lot more challenging. Come back through center and change sides. So the whole time trying to keep both shoulder blades lifted away from the mat. So if you've gone to any kind of fitness classes or maybe even in a yoga practice, you've done bicycle crunches before, but maybe you've gone really fast and you're kind of just pulling the knees in. Now that's not to necessarily say that's wrong, but that's going to work the hip flexors a little bit more. And here I really want you to work your obliques. So being very precise about keeping the knees stacked. And you'll feel like a deeper pinch in the side as you move from side to side. Let's go for another 10. 9. These are way more challenging. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Oh, feel that burn. 2 and 1. Come to lie all the way down. You can either hug the knees in or if you prefer, stretch out long. Take your legs up. Legs are going to be straighter this time. If they can't fully straighten, that's totally okay. Again, hands behind the head. I'm going to peel the shoulder blades away from the mat. Now you can either bend the right knee and place the sole of the foot on the floor or extend the right leg long. And then we're going to extend our right arm to the outside of the left leg. And we pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs up, changing sides. So remember you can place the left foot down and then we pulse to the right for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Feel that burn. 2 and 1. Ay, ay, ay. Release. We're going to meet in a tabletop position. So you can rock and roll up and down the length of your spine or roll to one side. And here's where we're going to stretch the belly. So you're on your hands and your knees. Drop the belly down into a cow pose and hold here. I don't know about you guys, but it feels pretty good. Maybe even sway the hips side to side. The thing about core work is so often when you're right in the middle of it, it feels so strong and you could feel that burn and you're not sure how many more reps you can do. And then within like a couple of breaths of coming out of it, you're like, oh, everything's okay. All right, coming back to center, you're going to spin your fingers around to face your knees to stretch out through the forearms and the wrists. Inhale through your cow pose, drop your belly. Exhale through cat pose, round through the upper back, look towards your navel. Again, inhale through cow. Exhale, cat. 3 more rounds. Following your breath. Maybe even closing your eyes. Last one. Coming back through center, you can spin your fingers back around to face the front. If there's any other little wrist stretch that you need here, take it. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog when you're ready. Maybe you're pedaling out your feet in down dog. Really starting to drop into a rhythm of breath that feels good in your body. So be mindful not to overwork the breath, particularly if you're using Ujjayi breath. So we're trying to find a balance between effort and ease. And perhaps even feeling the core nice and strong here, and you're using your core muscles to keep the front ribs pulling in. So everything feels contained through to the midline. Step your feet in once or twice closer towards the hands, and then keep pressing the left hand into the floor. Thread your right hand to your left ankle, shin, or thigh, and look underneath the left underarm. And if it's super challenging, just walk the feet in a little bit more. Remember, your heels don't have to be touching the ground. And changing sides. Those of you who are a little more open or flexible, be careful not to sink into the right shoulder. So you want to think of lifting your right forearm away from the mat. Both hands back down. Find your full-size downward facing dog with the feet hips width distance apart. Inhale, glide into your plank position. Spin both of your heels to the left. Reach your right arm up for a staggered Vashisthasana. If you prefer, you can always lower the left knee down. And then from here, you're going to sweep your right arm underneath the left side of your body. Tap the left shoulder blade. Inhale to lift back up. Exhale, thread it through and tap and lift. 3 more. Each time that you do this, try to find that little pinch in the obliques. 4, 2, and 1 more. Thread it through. Reach the right arm back up, and then place the right hand down, spin the heels to the right, reach the left arm up. Again, thread the left arm underneath the right side of the body. And then inhale, reach it up for 4, 3, 2, last one, thread it through, reach the arm back up, left hand comes down for plank position, and we slowly lower all the way to the belly. Untuck your toes, take your hands wider than the mat and up onto your fingertips. Inhale, peel the chest up and release back down. Now you might like to undulate the spine like that, a couple of times if you'd prefer, just to hold at the top and then shimmy out the shoulders. So there's like lots of different ways that we can move the body. Like I said at the start, it doesn't always have to be static or super prescriptive. And we're gonna meet in downward facing dog. Walk your feet all the way to your hands. Your feet will be hips width distance apart. We'll take a nice gentle forward fold here. You could hold opposite elbows. You could flop your hands onto the floor. Wherever you are, really think about letting the head be heavy, the neck long. We're going to begin to flow in a moment, so let this be soft. Release your hands to the floor. Bend the knees a little bit more. Feel your quads switch on and then pull up through your navel. Begin to roll yourself all the way up to standing. And at the top, roll your shoulders back and down. Gather your hands into prayer and allow your eyes to close. Perhaps setting an intention for your practice today. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Release your arms. Allow your eyes to open. Let's flow. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Big stretch, reach up. Maybe you even want to lift the gaze up. Exhale, fold. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Uttanasana. Inhale as you lengthen halfway. Strong legs, pull the chest forwards. We're going to step back to plank position. And then everyone lower your knees down. Take a little look towards the screen. So notice here that I'm not in tabletop, but I'm in a modified plank. So my knees are further back. And then I want you to squeeze your butt and lengthen the tailbone down. From here, keeping the body nice and kind of in a straight line, we're gonna bend the elbows and lower for modified chaturanga. Feel the elbows hug in. Try not to drop your head, so you're lengthening through the back of the neck. Breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower to your belly. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, peel the chest up, low cobra. Take it back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, bend the knee, open up through your hip, and then draw your right knee to your left upper arm. Pause here. Now see if you can take your shoulders a little further forwards. Keep extending through the crown of the head. Draw your knee to your nose. Step right foot to right thumb, left foot to left thumb. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand, reach up. Hands to prayer. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back, plank position. Lower the knees down for your modified plank. All right, keeping the belly pulling up and back. Bend the elbows, modified chaturanga, hold. Try not to allow the shoulders to round and dump forwards, right? So your shoulders pulling back down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Maybe it's getting a little bit bigger. Take it back, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Bend the knee, open up through your hip. Draw left knee to your right upper arm. Pull the chest forwards more. See if you can straighten the arms. Draw knee to nose. Step left foot to left thumb. Right foot to right thumb. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand, reach up. Hands to prayer. Inhale as you reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back, plank position. So option this time to keep the knees lifted. Obviously it's challenging, so don't be afraid to lower them down. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Hovering just off the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Take it back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, opening up through the hip. Draw your right knee to your left underarm. Stay here or 3 times. Slide the knee to your wrist. Pull it back up. slide to the wrist, pull it up. Last one, slide it down, pull it up. Knee to nose, step the right foot forwards, step the left foot forwards. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand. Hands to prayer. Last round, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back, plank position. Again, maybe the knees stay lifted this time. Chaturanga, last time, holding it. 3, 2, and 1. Use your inhale to find your back bend. And take it back, downward facing dog. This is like yoga with friends. Having your little Henry Bear sitting here. Lift the left leg, open up through the hip. Left knee to your right underarm, stay or slide to the wrist. Pull it back up, slide to the wrist, and up. Last one, slide to the wrist, and up. Knee to nose, step the left foot forwards, step the right foot forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Raise to stand. Hands to prayer. All right, guys, we're gonna find chair pose, feet as wide or as narrow as you like. Same thing that I've been saying, right? Use this first chair pose, wriggle around a little bit, maybe pulse a little bit. Where do you need to be today? And eventually you'll find some stillness in your pose, Utkatasana. Take another full breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you lengthen. Step the left foot back. Now your left hand will stay down. You could always put a block underneath it if you need. Reach the right arm up. Easy twist. And then I'm hugging my right hip back so that the twist happens more from the torso. Finding that space in the upper back. Right hand to the floor, three-legged dog. Sweep the right leg up and back. We're going right knee, left underarm, and then extend your right leg out to the left and place the left foot down. So it's like a warrior two stance in the left foot. Reach the left arm up, fallen triangle. So what I like to do here is reach the left arm forwards, just get a little bit more of a side bend. I'm pressing the floor away from me with my right hand. Bring the left hand back down. Step back straight through a vinyasa if you like, or if you're like, no way, we've already done too many chaturangas, then you can just come straight to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Knee to nose, step left foot to left thumb. Right hand stays down, reach the left arm up. Hug the left hip back. Think of opening through the chest more. Release the left hand down. Sweep the leg up and back, three-legged dog. Draw your left knee over to the right and then extend the left leg out. Ground the back foot down. Reach the right arm up. And really power up that back leg. That's going to help you keep the hips lifted. Maybe you're also reaching the right arm forwards. Last full breath in. Release the right hand down, take it back through a vinyasa, maybe being a little creative with it. Sorry, bud. And back to downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here. Bend your knees, inhale, look towards the top of the mat, lightly step or jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana, sit low, reach the arms up. Press into the feet, rise to stand, Tadasana. Inhale, chair pose. So this time you're either going to find your prayer twist to the right, hooking left elbow over the right thigh, or if that's too much, extend the arms and twist. If you're in the prayer twist, try to roll the right shoulder back and down. Look down, and you'll step the left foot all the way back, so you're in your twisted lunge. Hands to the floor, three-legged dog, sweep the right leg up and back. Right knee to your left arm, fallen triangle, extend the leg out, reach the left arm up. Now, option to stay here. If you want more, see if you can hover the right leg away from the floor. Yeah, it's strong. Breathe, 3, 2, 1. Back through a vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. And hopefully you're really starting to feel the heat build in your body. Bend your knees, inhale, look forward, step or jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. We're going to find our twist again. So working with the option that you did on the first side. Try to stabilize through your hips. So once again, the twist comes more from your torso. Look towards the floor. You're going to step your right foot back, and if it doesn't step back in one clean sweep, all good. You can just hop it back. You can also place your hands down if you need. Hands to the floor, three-legged dog. Left knee, right arm, fallen triangle. Find your variation. Maybe you're hovering the left leg. Last full breath in. Exhale, release, vinyasa. Downward facing dog is where we meet. 3 deep breaths here. Bend your knees, inhale, look towards your hands. Step or lightly jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, sit low, reach the arms up. Rise to stand, Tadasana. All right, bring your hands to your hips. You're gonna stand into your right leg, bend and lift your left knee. And then take your right hand to the outside of the left leg and press your leg into your hand. Take the left arm back behind you, maybe allowing your gaze to follow the thumb. Stay here or reach your right arm forwards. Stay, or if you want more, kick your left leg forwards. So not only are you kind of working the hamstring here, or you need a bit of length in the hamstring, you're working your left quad. And come back through center, shake it out. I don't know what this little guy's doing today. All right, changing sides. Bending and lifting the right knee. Left hand to the outside of the right leg and press your leg into your hand. Take the right arm back. And go slow here so that you're finding the balance. Maybe reaching the left arm forwards and maybe kicking the right leg forwards. Remember, these are all just invitations to move. You don't have to take every single option. Come back through center and shake it out. You know what it is? It's my birthday today. This little one wants to stay with me. All right, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step or float back through a vinyasa or skip it out. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. Knee to nose, step right foot to right thumb. Come up onto your fingertips here. Now you might also need blocks. You're gonna walk your hands to the right and then pivot onto the pinky toe edge side of both feet. And I want you to keep the legs as straight as you can. I know they may not be all the way straight, that's fine. And flex your toes back towards your shins. And what you're aiming to stretch here, I'm sure you're probably already feeling it, is the muscles around the IT band. So the muscles that run down the outside of the legs. And this can be pretty intense, so really find your breath. You're going to walk your hands back towards the top edge of your mat and then continue to walk them over to the left side of your mat. The feet will follow. Keep the feet parallel and fold. Yogi's choice here. You could have your hands to the outer edges of your feet, maybe around the big toes. Some of you might be like, hey, I really want to take a tripod headstand, and that's awesome. You can always take those options. Wherever you are, bringing the hands underneath your face, lift the torso up halfway. Now, hug your front ribs in, lengthen the spine, strong legs. Stay here or bring your hands to your hips, or maybe reach them out to the sides. Breathe 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing all the way up. Spin your right toes forwards, a warrior 2. Nice deep bend in the right knee. Maybe closing your eyes as you settle in. Observe all the little twitches, movements, or sensations in your body. Straighten through the front leg. Inhale as you reach the right hand forwards, Trikonasana. Drop the hand down, maybe to the floor or onto a block. Left arm reaches up. Now pull the right hip back. Find some length from your right hip to your right underarm. And then take the left arm forwards, wrap the pinky finger down, and then press more into the outer edge of the left foot. And hopefully you'll feel like a deeper side bend here. Option to stay or reach your right arm forwards as well. If you're taking this option, scoop your right underarm to the left. Half moon, right hand out in front of you, maybe onto a block, lifting the left leg up. Take your time here to set up the balance. Maybe you get a little lighter on your right hand. Make a big shape with your body. That's going to help with the balance. Both hands to the floor, standing splits. Fold over your right leg. Step your left foot next to your right. Chair pose, sit low. So you're going to find your prayer twist again, hooking left elbow over the right thigh. This time, if you would like to drop the left hand down and reach the right arm up, you can do that. Or for some of you, placing your hands down, facing forwards, take Eka Pada Koundinyasana. Oh no, sorry, my bad. Pajvabhakasana, side crow. We'll keep the knees bent for this variation. And again, rather than dropping the head down, think of pulling it forwards. Everyone back to chair pose. And fold. Step the left foot all the way back. Lower the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend your elbows, cactus the arms. This doesn't have to be a super deep back bend, but just opening the chest. Reach your arms back up. Hands to the floor, three-legged dog. Sweep the right leg up and back. Hello, sir. Right knee to your left underarm. And fallen triangle once again. Now I want you to keep the legs as they are, but bring your left hand back down to the floor. You'll pivot to the ball of the left foot. So you're in like a funky plank position here. Option is to stay, this might be enough. Or if you want a little bit more, you're gonna take 2 chaturangas. As you do this, try to keep your shoulders even. It's really hard, but try to do that. And then we're gonna step back through a regular vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. Hello, sir. So we have all of that on the left side. Reach the left leg up. Knee to nose, step left foot to left thumb. Come up onto your fingertips, walk your hands to the left. You're gonna pivot to the blade edge of both feet. So it might be a little more challenging on this side. Keep the toes flexing back towards the shins. And you're folding your chest over the thighs. We're gonna walk the hands back towards the front edge of the mat. Walk the hands to the right. You'll parallel your feet for your wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you wanna do the same thing that you did on the first side. Another option would be to interlace the hands back behind you or hold opposite elbows. Wherever you are, bringing your hands to the floor, lift the chest up halfway and pause. Strong legs, pull up through the belly, stay here, hands to hips, hands wide, or if you want even more, reach the arms out in front of you like your biceps are in line with your ears for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand all the way up. Spin the left toes forwards, warrior 2. Something nice and familiar here. Dropping in. Straightening through the left leg. Inhale, reach forwards, Trikonasana. Drop the left hand down, reach the right arm up. From here, take your right arm over your head. Press down through the outer edge of your right foot. Feel that nice side bend. And then either stay here or reach the left arm forwards as well. Now, if you reach the left arm forwards and the torso starts to face towards the floor, just drop the left hand back down and reopen the chest. Into Ardha Chandrasana, left hand out in front of you. I'm just gonna adjust slightly because my dog is pushing me off the mat. Find half moon. Think of floating your torso away from the mat. So it's not folding forwards, but it's lifting up. Standing splits, both hands down. We fold over the left leg. And just passing through here, step right foot next to the left for chair pose. Sit low. Hands come into prayer. We twist to the left. Stay here, or you can open up the arms. Right hand down, left arm up. Either stay there or both hands to the floor. You're resting your outer left thigh onto your right arm for Pajvabhakasana, side crow. Everyone back to chair pose. Exhale, fold. I'm gonna step the right foot all the way back. Lower the back knee down. Reach your arms up. Bend the elbows, cactus the arms. I'm kind of glad that you guys are seeing me have to work around Henry. Just goes to show that none of us have the perfect setup. We always have to make adjustments. There's always going to be distractions. We just do our best. Reach the arms back up. Hands to the floor, 3-legged dog. Sweep the left leg up and back. Left knee to your right upper arm. Fallen triangle, extend the leg. Reach the right arm up. Right hand comes down. You're going to spin onto the ball of the back foot. Pull the chest forwards. Now this might be enough. It's already pretty strong. If you want more, 2 chaturangas. Trying not to just lose all the work that we've done with our chaturanga setup. From here, back through a regular vinyasa or downward facing dog. Speaking of dogs. Take an inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Drop the back knee down for lizard pose. So from here, you might want to come onto your forearms. If you like to reach the right arm back and grab a hold of the left leg, it's another nice option. This is like your little mini rest. 5 breaths. And we'll go back through downward facing dog. And change sides. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Drop the back knee down. Find the variation that you worked on your first side. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Oh, that's all it took. Lift the right leg. Knee to nose, step a right foot to right thumb. Lower the back knee down and bring your hands onto your right thigh, lifting the torso up. So in this lunge, I'm keeping my knees more or less at a 90-degree angle. And then I'm gonna bend my elbows, turn my forearms up towards the ceiling. It's like I'm delivering a platter of food. And then I want you to twist to the right. And what you'll notice is that you probably feel like you can't twist as far as when you're in like your prayer twist. That's totally normal. Notice if the resistance is like in your upper back, it's in your lower back. Where do you feel stuck? Coming back through center, place the hands down, lift the back knee, straighten both legs, hop the back foot in a little and ground the foot down. Now your left hand is going to be either to the inside or outside of the right foot. You can place it on a block and then reach your right arm up. Parivrita Trikonasana. If you are lifting your gaze up, try to keep some length through your neck. And we're taking this basic shape into the balance. Left hand out in front of you, maybe on a block. Lift the left leg. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Drive the left heel back. Standing splits, both hands down, folding over your right leg. Draw your left knee to your nose. Thread your left foot, your left ankle over your right thigh. Bend your right knee. Now you can stay here on the fingertips or maybe reach your arms forwards or reach them up. Nice stretch for your right hip. Keep the figure 4 shape, hands down as you fold. Thread the left leg all the way back, lower the knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach the arms back up, hands down, 3-legged dog. Take the right leg up and back. Right knee to your left upper arm. Last fallen triangle, any variation. So maybe you're hovering the leg, maybe you're lifting the arm up. If you want those little chaturangas, you're on the ball of the back foot, taking little chaturangas, and then back through your vinyasa. Lift your left leg. Knee to nose, step left foot to left thumb, lower the back knee down, hands onto your left thigh, upright the torso. So again, more or less 90-degree angles between the knees, bending the elbows, forearms are up, and then we're gonna twist to the left. Just make sure that this front knee doesn't roll in. You might wanna do that. You wanna use your glute to keep the knee tracking forwards, lengthening through the spine as you then twist to the left. And really, guys, this is more or less your true depth of twist, because you're not leveraging by, pushing against your limbs or, using a prop in that way. You're really just using your own body to twist. Coming back through center, hands down, straighten through both legs, hop the back foot in a little bit. So right hand can be either inside or outside of the left foot. Set up your hips and then reach the left arm up. What tends to happen here is our chest kind of folds forwards and we're doing this, right? So maybe even come up on your fingertips. Think of lifting the torso, that kind of same float that we have in half moon, and then working the twist. Hopefully that feels a little better in your body. Right hand out in front of you for the balance, lifting the right leg. Those of you who have practiced with me a long time know that this is my nemesis pose. I find it super challenging. Left hand to the floor, standing splits, passing through. Right knee to your nose. Thread your right ankle over your left thigh. Pull the hips back and down. Stay here. Reach your arms forwards. It's a nice counterbalance. Or reach the arms up. Hands to the floor, thread your right foot all the way back, lower the back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach back up, hands down, three-legged dog. Left knee to your right underarm, into your version of fallen triangle, maybe a little chaturangas. And we're gonna meet back in downward facing dog, or you can always move through a vinyasa. Lower down onto your knees and onto your shins for a moment. All right, so guys, this whole practice has really been leading us up to one of the arm balances that is a little more like you would see it more in a mixed level class. Once you've learnt crow and side crow, you kind of start to move into Eka Pada Koundinyasana 1 and 2. So today we're doing Eka Pada Koundinyasana 1, which is the version with the twist, hence our twisting. Some people will find the arm balance from side crow. So we already did that where we came from chair and found side crow. So if someone's doing Eka Pada Koundinyasana from side crow, all they're gonna do is extend the legs out, right? So that's a great variation of the pose or way to come into the pose. The other way is to come into it from downward facing dog. Now, one of the biggest things that I see with this arm balance is people will drop their head towards the floor. The front leg will drop down so that the back leg goes higher. So it might look something like this. They'll enter from here and they'll go doink. Like I'm resting my head on Henry, but you get the idea. And it's kind of more of like this seesaw, which is not necessarily wrong, but it's a little bit of a cheating version because you're just kind of relying on that balance. The way that I work towards the pose is so that you're more perpendicular to the floor, right? And if you look at some yoga texts, this is the variation that you would see more of. Again, that's not to say that that's necessarily right. I also just think that it allows you to be able to float back through chaturanga more easily. It's also beneficial if you ever wanted to transition through headstand because you have a little more space. So if you were to come into the pose the way that I'm talking about it, you would bring right knee, let's go left upper arm. Now, you can always place the foot down like we've done, and you can see I'm bending that back knee as I wriggle my left arm into my right thigh, and then I'm lifting here. So the crown of the head is pulling forwards, and then you can take it back, okay? So have a play around with that, both sides. Here's another little variation for you if you're like, I kind of want to feel what the pose is like, but I don't really have the strength or maybe the endurance to come into it. Props are always going to be your best friend for that kind of work. Just understand when you're using them more as a crutch rather than a learning tool, right? So eventually you'll want to be moving away from the props, but they do give you a really nice idea of how the pose feels. Ideally, you'll have really stable blocks if you're doing this. So I would do it with the blocks on the highest height and your hands back behind the blocks, so you can play around with that. So if I'm gonna come into it, I would lift the right leg, I'm twisting, I'm gonna place that foot out like we've done before, and then it's like we're doing that little chaturanga, and I'm gonna rest my elbows, my shoulder heads down onto the mat, and then maybe you find a little bit of a lift. So the blocks are just taking some of the weight and you can find the lift off, right? So make sure you have a go on both sides. Try it out, especially if you have always done Eka Pada Koundinyasana with that tilt. We're a bit more like a seesaw. Try it out being a little more parallel to the floor. It's gonna feel different. It'll probably feel way harder, but it's a really great way of learning how to then transition into and out of the pose. So you can always pause the video, have a play around. Once you're done, I'm gonna meet you on your belly in Sphinx pose. So we'll stretch out through the front of the body. Elbows are down. Maybe you're gonna circle out your neck a couple of times. You can stay here or tent your fingers, lift your forearms and come up into seal pose. Lowering all the way down onto your belly. You could turn one cheek onto the mat. You could stack your hands and make a little pillow as you rest your forehead down. You'll interlace your hands back behind you. If that's too hard, hold opposite elbows behind your lower back. Press the tops of the feet down, then peel the chest up. Savasana. And rather than just pulling yourself up, can you feel the muscles of your back body working to help lift you? Maybe you hover the feet. Do you mind? And releasing all the way back down. You can turn your other cheek to the floor, or again, restack your palms, rest your head. Final back bend here. Repeat what we've done. Or you can take the arms back behind you, bend your knees, and you're going to curl up and hold onto the outer edges of your feet or your ankles for Dhanurasana bow pose. Wherever you are, make sure you're breathing fully and deeply. And release all the way down. Push back to child's pose, feet together, knees wide. You can wrap your arms alongside you. You can keep them outstretched. Maybe even wriggle your butt from side to side. Lift your torso up. You're going to swing your legs out to the front. I'm going to take a final forward bend here. So if you love stretching your hamstrings, they really need that attention, then you can take Paschimottanasana, folding. You want to drive the heels down and try to squeeze them back. If you're like me and your hamstrings are already pretty open, you don't need to open them anymore, right? So you might wedge something underneath the knees, keeping them bent. And then in this variation, you can round your spine. You're just flopping over, a more restorative version of the pose. So know when your body has had enough of a particular stretch. Like I said, if your hamstrings are already open, we've done enough work in the hamstrings today that you may not need to continue to work them in that way. Apart from the physical components of a pose, there's also the energetic component. So finishing with a forward fold like this is a nice way of just getting everything back to center, drawing in. When you're ready, lifting the torso back up, you can move the props out, slide further forwards onto or towards the top edge of the mat. Keep your feet down, reach your arms forwards, press down through the big toe mount as you begin to roll yourself all the way down. From here, hug your knees into your chest for one last final squeeze. If you love Happy Baby, you could take Happy Baby. Really just any final symmetrical finishing pose. When you're ready for rest, extend your legs into Savasana, or if you'd like to set yourself up with props, go for it. And then this is where I leave you guys. Thank you so much for joining in practice today. I'm sure Henry, provided a little bit of entertainment for you as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Namaste.